nicht nur in Baden-Württemberg, nicht nur in Deutschland, in Europa, stark halt natürlich auch in Österreich, um, wie gesagt, eure Spieler besser zu machen, eure Trainer besser zu machen, um einfach die Qualität des Produkts einfach besser zu machen, dass es einfach eine Win-Win-Situation für alle ist. Meine Kontaktinformationen werdet ihr halt eben noch draußen haben, wird auch mit eurer E-Mail halt eben nochmal rausgeschickt. Also wie gesagt, ich möchte euch gerne halt eben alle kennenlernen. Wie gesagt, nicht nur die Trainer und die Coaches, einige von den Verbänden sind hier. Wir haben ganz viele Lösungen, um einfach ligaübergreifend halt eben auch Pools zu schaffen, wie wir es auch in Österreich machen, um einfach euch die Arbeit halt eben abzunehmen, dass ihr natürlich halt eben auch Zeit habt für Familie, für Arbeit und natürlich auch euch hundertprozentig eben auf den Sport halt eben zu konzentrieren. Ich glaube, ich darf gar keine Fragen nehmen, weil wir schon bestimmt hinter der Zeit sind, aber Coach Hauke hat nachher nochmal eine Präsentation zum Thema Hagel, wo ich auch dabei sein werde, um Fragen zu beantworten. Und ich bin die ganze Zeit mit ihm draußen und kann den ganzen Tag eben eure Fragen beantworten zu eurem Account, wie ihr es jetzt habt, wie ihr es dann wahrscheinlich hoffentlich nächste Saison dann auch weiter haben werdet und generell so irgendwelchen anderen Fragen. Deswegen vielen Dank und ich glaube, der nächste Coach sollte jetzt schon dran sein.
Den darfst du vorstellen.
Den darf ich vorstellen. Hier ist Coach Joe from Texas. Ja.
Okay, die Defense darf gehen. Tschüss, auf Wiedersehen. Und so, keine Einladung zum Gehen. So. Ich bin glücklich, dass er da ist. Letztes Jahr konnte er nicht, da habe ich ihn zu spät angefragt. Wir schon letztes Jahr im November den Termin bestätigt, dass heute you told him last year I asked you too late coming to the convention. We already talked now about that you will do this. Coach Joe, wer versteht kein Deutsch? Perfekt, I would talk short German. Coach Joe ist Head Coach an der Southwestern University in Georgetown, Texas. Ist kurz vor Austin, nach Austin. Austin ist Texas Longhorn. Da unten. Die Schule hatte, how many years he had no football program? 60 or 64 years?
6 years.
60.
Oh, without football?
Without football.
62.
62. Die Schule hatte 62 Jahre kein Footballprogramm mehr an der Schule und dann hatten sie nur noch Mädchen. Darum haben die dann irgendwann mal beschlossen, wir brauchen Football, dass wir auch wieder Jungs. You had only girls at the school and then you bring the football program back the boys to the school. And sie haben vor 6 Jahren, 2013 war ihre erste Saison. Mit einem kompletten Freshman-Team mussten sie spielen, also nicht wie andere Colleges oder so. Sie hatten letztes Jahr 36 Abgänge, das war praktisch die erste Senior-Klasse. Letztes Jahr haben sie auch dann geschafft, den Titel zu gewinnen, sind dieses Jahr in einer höheren Division angetreten und hatten einen Rekord von 6-4. Und das ist jetzt dort, ich sage jetzt mal konstant. Coach Joe ist ein ziemlich junger Head Coach. Since I told him you are young.
I've been head coach for 10 years.
Oh, and how old are you?
38.
38. Also, yeah. Hat schon ziemlich viel. So now it's on you, coach. I told everything already.
All right. Guten Morgen. Your English is way better than my German. But if we were doing this at 9:15 at the bar, my German would be better. I appreciate the opportunity. It's really exciting to get to come and visit with you guys. I'm going to try doing everything through Huddle. So again, Jamie will introduce me. I'm going to talk to you about our offensive philosophy. And I have a lot of video. I want to show you a lot of video and then answer questions. So please ask questions as I go through this. We have problems already, huh? There it is, okay. Just to give you some of my background, everything I've done has been in building programs. Some of the schools I've coached at, nicht gut, and then they get better. At Southwestern, again, there was no program. In our last 2 years, we won our conference in 2016. We have a 12-3 conference record. We're in the best conference in our division, in Division 3. This year we finished 3rd, but we finished behind the national champion and a team that finished number 5. So we're very good. Football in Texas is very good. So we've been very successful playing football in Texas. Offensively, I've been calling plays since 2004, and every year that I've been calling plays, our offense has gotten better. we've scored more points every year, an average of about 60 points or so. So I think what we've been able to do is develop players. We try to recruit really good players, but we don't try to just recruit someone that's perfect. We've got to develop them, and we've got to get better all the way through. So we've been able to score more points every season than we have the year before. And there was no team here to compare it to, so every year at Southwestern we scored 54 more, and then this year we scored 72 more than the year before. So that's kind of what that graph shows. Some of the things we've done ranking-wise in statistics, we had a receiver catch 25 passes in one game. That's an all-time NCAA record. Jerry Rice had the old record with 24. We were trying to break the record. At the end of the game, we said, wow, Daniel had 25 catches. And it was a record, so that was kind of a fun game. We had 2 players lead the NCAA in receiving as far as number of catches. This year we finished 7th. This is even out of date now. We finished 7th in rushing in the NCAA, 9th in total offense. So we've had really good rushing teams, really good passing teams. We tailor what we do to the strengths of our players. Right now we have a really fantastic quarterback running the ball. He ran for 1,100 yards, 14 touchdowns. He led the NCAA for quarterbacks and rushing. So a lot of what we're doing right now, we build around him, and you'll see the schemes, and then you'll see all the things that we do. We've been very successful in statistics. Okay, so our philosophy. What are we all about? Our number one, these are 3 things that we just have to know, and then I'll filter through all of these. Keep your shoulders to the goal line. Whether you're running with the ball, blocking someone, if this is line scrimmage and that back wall is the goal line, I need to play with my shoulders at all times square to the goal line. Now I still may reach block and go get someone, but as much as I can, I'm going to keep my shoulders square to the goal line. If I have the ball and I'm running this way, that's not doing me any good. Now I can still make a cut, but I need to make a cut while I'm still working to the goal line. So every position group, we need to have our shoulders playing to the goal line. Easy to see on film. Pause the film and see which way they're facing. If they're facing this way, they're not helping you out very much. All your players need to play to the goal line. Keep your head to the football. If I'm a blocker, I need to keep my head to where the football is going to be. So for example, if I'm going to block you and the ball's coming this way, I need to keep my head to where the ball is. So you can't get there. Which leads into number 3, no one can cross your face to the football. I cannot let you go across my face to get to the ball. And it's a mentality. Oh, I tried to block him, but you guys, no. He cannot go. Where can he go? Because we'll get into it, forcing the back door. It's on there somewhere. I can make you stop and run behind me, because by then the ball's already gone. So these are number 3 things that all of our players have to understand. I play to the goal line, no matter what position I play. I'm going to keep my head to where the football is as a blocker, and I'm not going to let anyone cross my face. Those are things that our players get told and told and told. And so when they watch themselves on film, they know, well, I didn't do that very well. So those are things that are very important. This talks about how our offensive line communicates. I think offensive line communication needs to be a part of your philosophy. And we've changed some of this, but this tells you that it's important to us. We can identify open gaps. If there is a 3 technique, the A gap is open, and that there's no defensive lineman there. Your backside tackle, if he's pulling, he needs to know what gap's open, so he can anticipate where to go. So we can communicate across the line what gaps are open. Some plays it's not important, some plays it is. We need to be able to communicate. They need to communicate your combo pairings and what they're going to do and how they're going to do things. So our philosophy is a lot about communication, specifically for our offensive linemen. I mentioned force the back door. That ties into no one can cross your face. If I'm going to block you and the ball's going this way, if you stop your feet totally and run behind me, I've won. You just can't run across my face. Make them stop. If they're going to get to the ball, they've got to go behind you so that the ball gets to where we want the ball to be. Inside out, outside number is how we block on level 2 and level 3. This could be a whole clinic all in and of itself. But this forces the defender to either get reached or kick himself out. So I'm going to use you again. The ball's going to go to this side. I want to block you. I want to work inside out to your outside number. So as I approach you, I'm either going to get to your outside number, and now it's a reach block, and the ball can go. Or if you want to have an outside arm free defensive principle, and you run really fast, then I can take you past the play, and the ball can go at the same place. Inside out, outside number. What I don't want to do is come straight at you where you have a two-way go, where you can make me stop and you can juke me and you can cross my face. So working inside out to outside number and engagement is the angle that we always take. It also takes away that you could stop and fill quickly. If I'm head up, you could fill quickly and get to the ball. If I start inside out, you can't go directly to the ball. So we work a lot with all of our blockers, but with our wide receiver blocking can be really difficult because of the space involved. Don't send them right to them and do a lot of this stuff. They're gonna get juked. They're gonna get where they stalemate and then separate. Have them work inside out to the outside number. So again, the ball starts inside. Quarterback throws a bubble screen. I have to block the linebacker. If I go head up, he can shoot inside, he can go through me, or he can go outside. If I start an inside leverage, can he shoot inside? It's gone. So now all I have to do is work inside out, and if he fills, I'll reach him. If he scrapes, if I don't reach him, I'll take him all the way past, and the ball will come underneath me. And there will be video. You'll be able to see this on video. But it's an important part of our philosophy. Inside out, outside number for everyone. Also in our philosophy with communication is identifying if players are covered or uncovered. It depends on the type of scheme that we're running. In some of our plays, we'll identify covered as, is he touching you, like lined up across from me. In some of our plays, covered means, is he in my gap? If we're zoning this way, and there's two defenders, and I'm zoning to you, you're in my gap. Even though you're not touching me, you may be touching the next player. If you're in my gap, now you're covered by me. Now if we're playing a man scheme and you're lined up across my shoulder, now I'm covered with you. So we want to have our linemen be able to identify if they're covered or uncovered, and knowing if they're covered by a man or covered by a gap. So that's a big part of our philosophy. Even technique rule. Any defender that is head up is an inside gap player. That's how we treat it. And most times in defenses they are. Now they could slant away from it. But a 4 technique on a tackle is by base rule a B-gap player. Yes? So our players have to know that. And so if you're a 4 technique on the tackle and I'm the guard, again, I'm covered by you. You may be head up on the tackle, but your base gap is a B-gap. Yeah, the whole line could slant, that's fine, but I need to know that you are a B-gap player so we can base things off of that understanding. Right now, he's B-gap player. So we have an even technique rule. And this could probably go up top here. Anticipate the toughest thing. If you can prepare for slants and twists, and you can identify blitz threats, it's easy. We don't want our players to ever be surprised. So we want them to anticipate the most difficult thing that could happen. So if we're going to run a zone play to the left, and you may be on the tackle, but you're the nearest player to me, I can't be surprised if you come to my gap. Because then now you're going to blow me up and the play's gone. So I need to anticipate that. As I'm going through, I'm identifying my threats. You're behind me, I'm not worried about you. Oh, I better be aware if he comes to me. Oh, he comes to me, good, easy, I've got it. So they're not guessing. So anticipate the toughest thing. Thought process. We teach our players a lot about what to think before the play even starts because they can play fast. Players that are hesitant and they're thinking, they don't play fast. So they have a checklist before every play. This is for our offensive line and our tight ends. Number 1, what direction is the play going? They better know that, right? Number 2, what is my line split? 2 feet, 3 feet, real tight. What's my line split? Will I overtake, undertake, or pull? For us, an overtake is a reach block, an undertake is a down block, and then a pull is I'm gonna pull. So what am I going to do? Who are my immediate level 1, level 2 threats like I talked about? I can't be surprised. I'm thinking I have you, but this guy could twist, this guy could twist. Who are my immediate threats? And I think I have you, but if you go away, where's the next, what linebacker do I go to? So they need to anticipate where they're going to go in their progressions. I think I have you. Okay, at the snap you leave, oh, now I have you linebacker. I've got to know that before the snap. So who are my level 1, my level 2 threats? What are my calls? Now I can make my calls, and then I need to review the snap count. For the center, because he doesn't have a split, he calls the front. Which way is the play going? Okay, it's 31 to 13, or whatever we call it. How we identify the front, and then he does the same thing. What's my block? Who are my threats? Make my calls, make sure I know the snap count. Every play, our lineman should be able to come up, and in 2 seconds, play is going right. I know I've got my split set. I see my immediate threats. I know that I'm going to overtake, and I need to make whatever calls they are. Boom, go. And it's even faster than that. It takes longer to talk than it does to think. Okay, for wide receivers, they think about alignment, assignment, and technique. Alignment, how far from the tackle am I? How far from the slot? What's my alignment? Am I on the ball? Am I off the ball? Assignment, who do I block? What route do I run? And then review of technique. Inside out, outside number, what route technique, not popping up, whatever it may be. How do I run technically my blocking assignment or my route? Joe, we adjust our alignment and spacing to the scheme of our play. So we look a lot at the safety structure and know if it's man, zone, blitz, whatever it may be. So we ask our wide receivers to identify where the safeties are. Is it cover 0, 1, 2, 3, 4? Is there a blitz? Is the coverage going to roll and change? So our wide receivers can just go out there and stand there and look downfield. They've got a lot of things that they need to see peripherally. And then go through their progressions in both run and pass game. Just like linemen. I think, I'm the slot receiver, I think I have this linebacker. This linebacker could blitz. Where's the next guy? If he blitzes, what safety's going to come down? So they have to go through the same progression pre-snap of him. I think I'm going to go there. He's gone. Well, I know where the safety is. Now I'm off to the next thing. And we do, I'll show you on film, we do a lot of combination blocks with our receivers. We'll do pins and pulls, and they need to be able to communicate and know how to do that. Big part of our philosophy is to be different. I mentioned our conference that we play in. The defending national champions in our conference, it's the Alabama of small college football. The biggest kids, giant budget, first pick of the players. So if we line up and run the same offense that they run against the same defense they run, they're gonna kill us. So we want to be different on both offense and defense. And our defensive coaches will talk about what we do on defense, and then we'll talk a little about today about what we do on offense. Another benefit is, well, there's several benefits. We're tough to prepare for. No one does what we do. It's tough to simulate. Here's some of the reasons what we do that makes us different. We have a triple option element added to all of our base run schemes. I wouldn't call us a triple option team because it's not the only thing that we do. Navy, Army, Georgia Tech, they're triple option teams. That's all they do. But we have triple option elements off of our run plays, which is very difficult for teams to practice, and it's very difficult for teams to be ready for. We score on triple option on almost all of our first drives of every game because the defense isn't ready for the speed. They can have their scout team practice it, but it's not the speed that we're coming at. We go dive around the pitch and they're like, whoa, where'd they go? In practice, their defensive players have a lot more time to see it, so it's tough for people to react to. We have speed option elements, so not just triple option, but speed option. Speed option keeps people from blitzing. Don't play cover 0. We're just going to pitch off the end man and run for a long time. So speed option keeps people from blitzing. So does speed option. If teams blitz you a lot and you run triple option and speed option, they're going to blitz you a lot less. If teams twist a lot, If you have option elements, they're not going to twist. They've got to play base gap responsibilities to be able to defend option. Now, I'm here telling you to go be a triple option team. I'm telling you why we have to playing the small college Alabama every year. We've got to be a little bit different. All of our passes are run action. I think we did maybe 6 drop back passes the whole season. Now, we're good at throwing the ball. We're very good. But everything looks like run. So no linebackers cover passes. Every time we pass, as you'll see, our guard pulls. So what do linebackers do? They chase that guard pull. And now there's 3-4 defenders with no linebacker help covering passes. So we make everything look like run. That makes us very different. Vertical seams is the main thing that we throw. Because there's no linebackers, there's lots of seams in zone defenses. And then we have bubble screen elements, which is, also keeps teams in base coverages. You don't want to be rolling, and if there's trips, you don't want to roll weak, because now it's 3-on-2. So it's another thing that keeps teams in base defenses. I should add this here. Another point is we will shift our formations. We'll line up in one formation, shift to another one. You're going to get their base defense because they have to adjust fast. So we line up in, this is our line of scrimmage. We line up with double wings in an option formation. We take both our wings and we jump over to 3-by-1 open. Check base, every team, whatever their base signal is. Whatever, they can't call another blitz, another whatever, they're going to jump to base. So we keep teams in their base defense really well by shifting. Line up in an option formation, jump to empty, jump to anything you want to jump in, you're going to get their base defense. Come on. Okay. So we're going to start off. I'm going to show you what we do in our run game. I talked a little bit about philosophy. Now I'm going to show you our system of running. This is out of date. We're actually 7th in the NCAA. I had 244 teams in rushing. We average 288 yards a game. We're 15th in time possession. We don't try to hold the ball, but we end up having the ball a lot, which helps our defense. So we don't go into the game saying, let's slow the game down, let's hold the ball. But we've been able to really do that as a product of our offense. We do huddle, which no one else does, which is also, I guess, being different. And it allows us to communicate. And we scored a lot of first downs. So here's the plays I'm going to show you. We run power. It's our base. We run it a lot of ways. Speed option. We run a little bit of veer, which is our zone play. Just a straight everyone down block zone. A veer zone. Then we run a tackle ISO play and a QB ISO play. These are our offensive systems. So it's a lot, but here's some of the ways that we run power. There's a lot on this screen. Here's a 3-back look where we can run triple option, down block, pull a little play side backer, dive read, pitch read. We can do this a bunch of different ways. Plus we have, we can do it off of fly motion with a slot receiver or with a wing back, where now it's just a single read, and we can lead our back out of the backfield. We talked about doing some different blocking on the perimeter. I'll show you. We like to combination block on the perimeter. We combination block on the perimeter for 2 reasons. 1 is to give our receivers good angles. 2 is to time up the block. If we're going to run a stretch to the outside, I don't want to block him until the ball gets there. The longer I have to hold that block, the less successful it's going to be. So if I can block down on the backer, block down the safety, and then pull him to the outside, and he gets there right when the ball gets there, and he gets there when the ball gets there, it's going to be more successful. And they also have better angles. A really tough angle is to block, we talked about this, block straight up on a corner. That's not a good angle. But if I'm an inside receiver, and you're the outside corner, and I can just take away the whole field, and wait for you, and wait for you, and wait for you, and as you fill, I can cut block you, I can reach block you, that's an advantage for me. Whereas if I start here, and I've got to wait for 3 seconds, that's not a good angle. So we have to give our receivers good angles and time up the block. 10 up the block. So that's why we do a lot of things. Here's another example of a cross block. We're going to run power triple option. We have our dive read. We have our pitch read. Instead of blocking straight up, they're going to cross block. It also, if this is cover 4, it also messes with their coverage. In cover 4, they have to cover these players vertical, yes? So when he releases inside, what's the corner going to do? He's going to go inside. Even better angle for him. So if you play cover 4, in Texas, everyone plays cover 4 because TCU does. Cross your guys. You're all screwed up. In run blocking. You can run pass routes where they cross too, but in run blocking, they have to cover them vertical. So cross. And they won't fill in the run game. Okay, let's watch some film. And I may sit down for this just because it's easier to operate. Hopefully the Wi-Fi is fast enough to... You're laughing, I'm not... Okay. Come on.
So it's the same old...
All right, here we go. Okay, so we're going to run, we're in spread, where we have the threat to do anything that a spread offense could do. In quick motion, we're going to bring our wing down, and we're going to run triple option, or slot down to a wing. This is our dive key, that's our pitch key. Most of the time, I don't know if we will now, most of the time against cover 4, we'll cross block where he'll work out and he'll work in. I don't know if we had that called on this player or not. No, they're not going to cross block. So this is our base run power. The dive, block down the dive, the pitch man takes the pitch, and the quarterback scores.
Use lineman reading groups?
Using what?
Lineman reading groups.
Reading groups.
For example, the right side reading linebackers corners, left side reading left corners linemen.
The linemen are only looking at what's in the box.
Okay.
So the question was, what do our linemen read? They read all the things that are in that pre-snap thought process. If it's in the box, they're going to worry about it. If it's a 4-2, anything outside the box that may fold in, that's not their problem. We have to get that taken care of on the perimeter. Unless, if I'm a tackle and you're the outside linebacker, you're not in my count. Until this receiver says smoke. Smoke means I think he's going to blitz. Now you need to make sure that you at least look at him to account for him. Does that make sense? So the box is the linemen's. Outside the box is the receivers. But the receiver can add a guy if he, or make an alert basically.
How do you solve such a problem? If you have smoke and linemen coming inside to the blind side to get the ball away quick enough?
We anticipate that he's going to come in.
Axel, das sind
And then we
solche
can-
Fragen für nach der Klinik. Lass ihn bitte weiterreden.
Again, we'll go through as much film as it will load. Here's the tight view of our power. So we're gonna block down to the backside backer. They're gonna combo the nose through to the backside backer. Guard's gonna pull for the front side backer. We're man on the backside. The dive back took the dive. There's the pitch back, and there goes the quarterback. Hopefully these will load. Emil, any tips?
No, but I would look to change the
Wi-Fi?
Yeah.
So what I had planned to show was different progressions. in our power game, and I can draw stuff as easy as we can watch it. Do a lot of you coaches, do you run power? Yes? Okay. We think power is advantageous for several reasons. One reason that we like it is it makes players aggressive. They always can get off the football. They can put their hand heavy on their hand, and they can go forward to be aggressive. It creates an extra gap, which is one of the things that we like. So when we run power, we don't wait on anybody. We don't wait to see where people are going to go. So if we're going to go power to the right, these players are getting off the ball as fast as they possibly can. We're not going to wait and see where defenders end up at. We always base on the backside. And then when we pull, we talked about our inside out, outside number philosophy. As he pulls around, he's going to work to his outside number. Now that doesn't mean that he can run around him and just let him be free. We want to work to his outside number because we want the ball to hit right through there whenever possible. How's it coming? Good?
Normally, no. We got the other Wi-Fi.
My Wi-Fi.
No, I already changed it.
Okay. Jamie said he may be able to do a mobile hotspot. The huddle guy.
And we got now the Wi-Fi directly from the hotel. No, the open one, the closed one, which one is only used by the hotel. Just the way it runs. The other one is slowly. Technische Probleme, ganz schlecht. Nicht unruhig werden, meine Damen. Wir üben uns in Sport. Okay, I will go to you.
Right, well, I'll keep showing you on paper the things we do with our power. We started looking a little bit of triple option. When we go triple option, the defensive end is going to be our dive key. The outside linebacker is going to be our pitch key. And we can bring our pitch key can be anywhere. He can be a wing. He can motion in from a slot. We can also keep our pitch key on the same side. So we'll have our dive and then our pitch on this, coming from anywhere. So we can bring our pitch. So again, we're not a triple option offense. We don't just line up in double wing and wishbone all the time. We add these elements to make it tough for teams to counter. I also mentioned that we like to cross block things on the outside. So if we had a cover 4 type structure and we're going to bring our pitch man from the backside, we're going to cross block this a lot. When he releases inside, he has to follow him. And he can't fill like you'd like to on run because he's getting the wheel route key from his slot. So the tough thing in cover 4 is the safeties, they want to read run and fill downhill right away, but they can't do that if you cross your wide receivers. Now as soon as this receiver comes out and does this, that safety is going to probably fill. And you may be able to go play action and get vertical, maybe not. We also like to run power with a jet sweep, fly sweep, whatever you may call it. An important thing in coaching this play, I think, is you have to have a philosophy of when the quarterback reads this defensive end or contain player, whose ball is it? Is it the quarterback's ball until he takes it away? Or is it the running back's ball until the defensive end takes it away? Does that make sense? You don't want your quarterback to guess. He can't be reading, I don't know whose it is. He has to have a default. For us, it's the running back's ball until he's going to tackle him, and then he'll take it. Same thing on a dive. When we read a dive, it's a running back's ball. Oh, he's going to tackle him now. He's going to take it. Don't have your quarterback with a guess. He can't go in with his mind blank. So for us, again, dive, running back's ball. He's going to tackle the running back. I'm going to take it. Now on the pitch, in the alley, now it's my ball. It's my ball until this guy commits to me. Then I'll get it to the edge. On our jet sweep, it's his ball. Now he's going to tackle him. Now I'm going to take it. Don't have your quarterback just have his mind blank. Another tough thing that teams play us on our fly sweep is they'll try to get upfield fast to make the quarterback think, pull it, and then he'll come down. So you have to do a drill where your fly player, if he gets deep, he can block it. So does that make sense? If you're the end and you get a certain amount of depth, at that point the quarterback's going to have to take it. So defense tries to be tricky, get depth and then tackle him. Now your fly back has to block him. So when I pull it, he's not going to tackle. Going hardwire? Okay. See, I get to go first and get all the kinks worked out. Okay, so I mentioned before that we don't do a lot of drop back passing. So power is our #1 run blocking that we do, our #1 pass blocking. So when we pass block, they're all going to block their gaps on power, and our guard now will block the C gap. He won't pull up to level 2, he'll block C gap. So it looks the exact same to all those defenders.
That's the pass block system.
That's our #1 pass protection. Okay. And every gap is taken care of. The pulling guard has the C gap, the tackle has the B gap, guard has the A gap, center has the A gap, and then our back, if we keep it back in, he'll work opposite of the tackle who's man-to-man. So all 6 gaps are taken care of. Now a lot of the time, we will 5-man protect and get him out, and then the quarterback has to see if there's a blitzer. He has to take care of that. And how can you take care of that? He can change the protection, or he can just run up the other way. Where now they'll block down this way, he'll pull for him, and then he's man on the backside.
Yeah.
What is which list did you use?
Scroll down. I think it was Germany 2. Under miscellaneous.
A lot of stuff inside.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. There you go. Coach Austin, Germany 2.
2.
All right, that's it.
Remember when you
I'll find it.
Okay.
Perfect.
The other one
Okay. So we'll move quickly now through power. As I said, I'm going to throw you all show you all 3 phases. So we're going to run the same play. We're going to line up and spread. We're going to quick motion this wing down. There's our dive and our pitch. They take the dive. Here they take the quarterback, so we get the ball out on the pitch.
Always pitch with 2 hands.
So yeah, the question is, do we pitch with 2 hands? Our quarterback broke a finger on his left hand,
Okay.
and so he really likes to do it with his right hand, and I'm not going to mess with it. So don't overcoach.
Yeah.
Everyone else, we're left and we're right, but for him, he likes to come out and I'm, He's good, so I'm not going to mess with it. So the next clip is going to be, when it loads, we'll show the dive phase. Now we're going to run power, and they're not going to take the dive with the defensive end. So we're going to give the ball in the dive. Here's our read key. And again, we're going to block down. We're going to pull around to the front side. The defensive end comes upfield. On this clip, what you'll see is we're not going to motion. We're going to line up with one wing and then two slots. So we're still in like an H-back formation. A lot of people run a lot of H-back things out of this. For us, we don't do a lot of true split flow zone H-back stuff. So now he's going to come around and be our triple option player on the back.
Works now on Wi-Fi?
It's loading, yeah.
Okay, because if not, you can go on his.
Well, you watch and see if you're happy with it. I mean, it still has a little bit of delay, but
Okay, yeah, okay. Okay, done. No.
so we'll have our dive, we'll have our pitch. Again, I prefer if those guys cross-blocked it. What I do like about what our slot guy is doing, it looks like he's running around crazy, but he's setting his inside-out angle. He's going to get inside of the safety, and then he's going to engage the safety when the ball gets there. If he'd run right out to him and tried to block him, he'd get off the block before the ball got there. So if you want to make it easier for perimeter blockers, don't have them run out there right to him. They need to get there when the ball gets there. See when he engages? He engages right when the ball gets there. Okay, now we'll go to, we call it fly motion, jet sweep, power. This is a single read. We're going to read the defensive end. I talked about the board. What I think the toughest thing is, how people will defend it. They'll send the end upfield fast to make the QB think that he should pull it, and then they'll have him collapse on the quarterback. When that happens, this is our fly motion guy. The fly motion guy needs to block him. And you can set your depth in your game plan. If he gets deeper than 3 yards, block him. If he's deeper than 4 yards, whatever it may be. So the way we block this, most of the time we'll cross block this. I don't know if we will this time or not. Our running back in the backfield is going to lead on the invert. And that also eliminates any blitz. We don't care if he blitzes or not, because that's who he blocks. So we're going to read the end no matter what, and we're going to lead block on him in the alley no matter what. So that's our read guy. Read guy squeezes. Now we're going to run the same thing, fly stretch, but we're going to do it from a double wing formation. We call our double wing formation Navy. Because we're always shotgun, we don't run midline. We don't run a lot of the things that some true triple option teams will run. So we're going to go to the right. You can see this is our read player. So our running back in the backfield is still going to lead on the invert. And then our wing now is going to follow his normal scrape to safety rolls to the edge. The defensive end squeezes. You can't even see him get upfield at all. We like to cut on the perimeter as much as we can. So our fullback from the backfield is going to cut block this defender. He cuts the wrong leg though. He needs to cut the outside leg. And you can see our wide receiver, he's trying to time up when he blocks him with when the ball's going to get there. We will do this also out of spread. You're going to see 3x1 open. And now instead of bringing a player from a slot position or a wing position, we're going to run stretch with our running back. We're going to read the defensive end still. And we've got some options on how we're going to block, how we would block this on the perimeter. One way that we'll do it is we would block down here, and then we would pull him to the safety and go one-on-one on the edge. Another way we could do it is block down both of these players and then pull him to the corner. Whichever way we do it, the timing of when the ball arrives to the blocks is more preferable than just trying to do this. That's the toughest way to do it. Their angles aren't good at all. So we're not going to block straight up 3 over 3 very often at all. So you can see this combination block setting up.
Shallows?
Shallow crossers. Not much. There it goes. So again, I don't know why they didn't combination block this. They should.
But you don't want the middle receiver to make contact in the block. You just want him to show it and go downfield. Normally he has to contact.
No, I don't know why they didn't block it this way.
Oh, okay.
That's what they should have done. I don't know why they didn't do it. They're players,
Yeah.
right? Shiza Spielers. All right, so I would have shown more, but I know it's taken a long time. It gives you an idea. Our true heavy hitting power run play, we call it Scorpion from the Scorpions. And so when we do that, we're going to get an extra puller with one of our wings. So it's our power play, but by having an extra puller to block the backside linebacker, we can get a true double team on somewhere on the play side. Whether it's with a tight end or a tackle, we can get a true heavy double team, and then instead of them having to come off to the backside, we can have an extra wing or slot motion in, and he can block the player on the backside. There's no reads on this, where it's a straight inside heavy power run play, named after the hometown team. So we're going to be going to the right. The backside wing is going to fit the backside linebacker. Normally we would have to come off to him. Now our backside wing can take him. We can hit it inside. So here's some diagrams. Remember, this play allows us to get a double team. In this case, by alignment, we're going to get a double team between our tackle and our tight end. And actually, we're going to get a double team also with our center and our guard. So we'll pull to the front side, we'll pull to the back side. He's man to man. Tight end again. We'll run this with or without a tight end. Tight end allows us to get sometimes 2 double teams. We're going to go to the left. So watch again for guys that coach receivers. Watch the timing of when the receiver engages the corner. Right when the ball gets there. Now, it wasn't a good block. But he has a better chance if he's not trying to block for 5 seconds.
Yeah.
I said watch the timing, not execution. We're going to be able to double team inside. Double team here. So I think what you'll see is our players get off the ball fast. They don't care where if they move or not. If somebody's on your path, they're going to block. We're not waiting for anybody. Last one I'll show you, this is on the goal line. We can run this against any formation, against any defense. We're going to try to push the pile. We should be able to get a double team here. All right, so that's our power. We run it as a spread play. We run it as a double wing play. We run lots of stretch with a slot, with a running back. Speed options are the next play I want to show you. Yeah, I think speed option is a really valuable play in that it stops people from blitzing. It stops people from twisting. And you don't have to have an option quarterback to run it. This play is designed for the quarterback to pitch it. So the quarterback's job is to try to get him to take me. We're going to run right at his outside number and try to get him to tackle. And that's got to get the ball out to the edge. So you don't have to have a great option quarterback to do this. For us, this is just a basic outside zone play. We're going to do a lot of reach and overtakes. Probably not exactly how I have it drawn. In years past, we would just cut the guys across from you. Now we're working more combination blocks where he'll overtake him and he'll work up. So that's what you'll see when you watch it on film. So for us, this is what we would call our base outside zone play. Any down and distance you can run it. We can run it from spread. We can run it from anything. So here we have a tight end trips formation. Here's going to be the player that we're going to read. And the quarterback's job is to try to get the end to come to him. So I want to talk again about our inside-out, outside number philosophy. We can't combination block this in this case because he's a little too tight. Actually, we could. Because if he were to fill, it's easy for him to come out on him. So you could still combination block this. But I want you to watch how the slot receiver is going to work inside out to outside number. By establishing an inside position, it eliminates him shooting inside. He cannot come underneath him. And now he just needs to work to his outside number. Same thing with the tight end, working to the safety, inside out to outside number. And then stretch. So he wants to reach block him. If he can't, he'll end up kicking him out. And the running back can run the same plays. So from an offensive line standpoint, we're going to work overtakes. So my guess is the center is going to overtake here. They could make different calls. And then same thing on the backside. He'll work up, and the backside tackle will overtake the 3 technique. So this is a good overtake. Now we're going to go to the right. Similar formation, pitching off the defensive end. Again, we'll overtake block, we'll overtake here. So our center is going to block the 3 technique. Now I'll do it with wings. We're still going to pitch off of the, excuse me, the defensive end. Similar formation, we're going to go to the bottom. Again, we don't get the outside leg on our cut block, but we get enough of them. And the receiver's block is the same, inside out, outside number. Outside zone from a line standpoint. So the center is going to overtake this defensive tackle. The tackle is going to overtake that one. There's our pitch player. Another cut on the edge. Okay. Now we're going to pitch off of the outside linebacker. This is a little adjustment that we'll make. So we don't always pitch off the end. So in this case, we're going to have an H-back. And our tackle and H-back are going to combo the end to the scraping linebacker, which allows us to pitch off of the next thing outside. Most of the time, he's responsible for what in triple option? The pitch man, which allows our quarterback now to be the runner. So in this play, we want our quarterback to run it. But there's a good chance, a good probability that he's going to run it. So our tackle and end are going to block the defensive end. The outside linebacker takes the pitch. I'll show you one more of these. Now it's going to come towards the bottom. Instead of pitching off the end, we're going to have our H-back chip to the linebacker. We'll pitch off the outside linebacker. Tackle ISO. Tackle ISO has been very effective for us because it still lets our players be aggressive. Get off the football and go block people. We like to pull the tackle because it's tougher for people to key if they key guards. We pull the guards so much that all people do all week is key guards. So by keying the tackle, it slows down these linebackers. This is always a counter play for us. There's always something excuse me, going on in the backfield. So I'll show you more than anything our running back combinations that we do at this play. The basic way that we'll do it is for the running back to come to the quarterback. So the running back will make a zone path towards the quarterback, and then he will pivot back and follow the tackle. So when he takes off and you have down blocks by your guard, you get linebackers working that direction. So you get a good counteraction back to the play. And so that's a tackle it's going to pull. The running back is going to work to the right, and then he'll come back and follow the tackle through. So watch these linebackers. They're all going to work this way because all their keys are working that way. Both guards and the running back are all going right, and then the ball's going to come back to the left. So this is counter misdirection for us. The next action that we use, load fast, good. We make it look like sprint out. So our running back and our quarterback are going to take off to the left. So both can take off this direction. And then the running back will pivot and come back underneath the quarterback and follow the tackle around. So they're blitzing here and we don't care. So that's our backfield action. He's covering the running back. He has no idea where the ball is.
Oh, tschüss. Nicht bei uns.
When we do it with our quarterback, now we'll have the back continue on and fake, and then the quarterback will follow the tackle through. So all the keys are going right again. Both guards are working right, the ball's working right, so all the linebackers are going to work right, and then the ball will come back right. So in this case, all the keys are going to go left. Both guards, the running back. Now we'll do a couple ways with the running back. We may have him work a dive path and block the end, or he may go fly stretch, depending on what we expect the end to do. Okay, QB ISO, we won't spend a ton of time on. Again, downhill, it's aggressive. Quarterback's able to shade the opposite way. We can run, we can pass fake with it. So again, I'll show you some different actions with this. We'll shade him away to pull linebackers and have them come to it. We'll combo it and fold it some different ways. We can run stretch with it and read the linebacker. So in this case, we're just going to run a lead ISO. Our QB is going to fake pass, and then a running back will lead to the play side linebacker. Very simple ISO. From a line standpoint, it's the only thing that we changed is we didn't pull a tackle. The tackle can stay home now. On this one, we're going to fold to the linebacker for our ISO, and we're going to run a route with the running back. He's going to run a quick screen. So it'll look like this. We're going to flare our back out, and instead of, so he would normally lead on the ISO, but we'll flare him out, and then we'll fold our center around to block him instead. So we'll ISO with our center instead of the running back. And it's going to come up now. Now. Here it comes. Okay, we'll skip that one. Okay. All right, so this version of our ISO will be a double ISO. We're going to have, you could do this with 2 running backs. We're going to do it with 2 H-backs. And we're going to use both of these players to ISO the 2 linebackers. And that allows us to double team. Say there's a 1 and a 3 here. We can double him now. And our quarterback will shade away to set these guys up a little bit and then come back through the hole. So it's a double ISO. You can set it up however you want to set it up. So I mentioned that we jump or shift. We line up in an option formation and we shift out. Guess what defense we get? Base. You're going to get their base defense when you do that. This will be just our straight quarterback ISO. We're going to lead the running back on the play side linebacker. Quarterback will shade opposite to hold the backside backer and create a little bit of counter action. Quick downhill play for us, trying to be very aggressive. Okay, pass game. I mentioned we're actually 9th right now in the NCAA in total offense. We average 500 yards a game. We ran for 300 and threw for 200, so we're not one-dimensional. We're not a true triple option team. Our quarterback was 4th in the NCAA in yards per completion, and 16th in yards per attempt. So we don't throw it as much as we run it. We run the ball more often, but we're pretty effective when we throw it. We only allowed 10 sacks the whole year. We're 21st in pass efficiency, and one of our wide receivers had really good average at 21 yards per catch. So the things that we do that I will show you as much film as I can. Verticals. We stretch vertical with seams and posts, mostly seams, but we'll throw some posts also over the top of safeties. Our quick games, bubble screens are really a big play for us. I think it adds a lot of advantage when teams have to defend the bubble on the perimeter. And then we'll also do a lot of quick floods in our quick game where we'll overload zones. We'll get 2 guys in the outside linebacker's area. We'll high-low a corner. We'll high-low an outside linebacker. So we'll do some really isolated floods. And then we'll isolate receivers one-on-one with curls and double moves primarily. Curls, deep stop routes, whatever you want to call them. You get them in one-on-one situations and you just throw them the ball. Run down 12 yards and we'll throw you the ball. Okay, so here's some of the ways that we run our vertical seams. I do have a laser. When we run our vertical seams, we'll tailor how we do it to the defense. But our basic way is to assume it's cover 3. Anytime we play a cover 3 team, they're going to get a lot of seams. Anytime teams will roll the cover 3, a lot of our passes automatically convert to seams. Against cover 3, our inside seams are 2 yards outside the hash at 18 yards, and our outside receivers are going to be at the bottom of the numbers at 14 to 16. And they'll go vertical, or they may run a comeback or a stop route depending on what type of coverage that they get. So we'll run it out of all of our formations. We'll run it with wings. We'll run it with slots. We'll run it a lot with fly motion. So we've got fly motion. Here's our power stretch. And again, I talked about our base pass of protection being power. So we pull the guard on all this. And pulling the guard eliminates linebackers from covering. So we can make it look like option. We'll bring them down, bring them around. We'll have the fly stretch. We can do it with a dive fake. So we'll run verticals off of every run action you saw. We'll go vertical off of all those things.
Do you use this option guy for another route running for pass game, or you don't use him at all?
He'll end up, we're not going to throw the ball to him a lot, but he'll end up in the flat. So the first one that's trying to load is going to be out of a 3-by-1 formation. While this loads, I will say more about how to set your verticals up based on coverage. Is it popular, vertical concept? So against one safety, the place that we will identify, I'll come back to that. That'll be my topic in between film slides. So here we're going to run our 4 verticals, and this leads into what I was talking about. We'll change where our verticals hit based on coverage, and we'll run this against any coverage. Here we have cover 2. Corners are the flats. It's really easy to identify for a quarterback, the coverage. He has a half field. So against the half field, we don't want him to be 2 yards outside the hash. We want him to be 3 yards inside the hash. So that's what I was getting to, is against cover 3, you want your inside seams 18 by 2. But now if it's a half field safety, you can still keep him at the bottom of the numbers, but you want him about 3 yards inside the hash. That's splitting his half of the field in half. But not getting too far in where this backside safety can become a factor. So we're going to read the backside safety. We're going to have play action with it. So this guard's going to pull. He's going to fake the dive. And when the safety hangs on the inside landmark, we're going to throw it to the outside. So if you're a line coach, just get used to watching linebackers do this. Watch all these guys. There's 2 guys covering 4 routes. That's pretty good odds.
Coach, quickly, the number 3 guy filling the backside seam. What do you tell him? Is he just running that straight because the linebackers are flying towards the line of scrimmage? Or
What are we telling him?
Yeah.
He needs to get to 18 yards, 3 yards inside the hash as fast as he can.
Okay, so he's not even like climbing across the mic and then going up. He's looking.
Don't
right
overcoach
shoulder.
it.
What's that?
Don't overcoach it.
Aye.
Get here as fast as you can.
Cool.
Okay, now we're going to do it with fly motion. So we're going to have fly motion coming, pardon me, across the formation. So does this make sense on adjusting your landmarks? Cover 2, cover 3? Yeah. Do you guys see a lot of cover 4? No? Okay. Because that changes it again. So I won't worry about that. So this will be fly motion. Our fly motion player is going to come across the formation. So now our seams are going to be, our inside seams are going to be run by these 2 players. When we watched how we run our fly motion run game, you saw that we would release our running back to block the outside linebacker. Well, now he's going to continue onto the seam. I know there's a lot of arrows. All these guys are going to cover the run. He's the only guy that's going to stay back to cover the pass. And we're just going to go where he doesn't. When we go fly motion, teams freak out. They run so many people to the front side. And because we pull a guard so much, we pull a guard, every linebacker goes that way. And it makes passing pretty easy. Now we're in empty. So we're going to bring our slot across in fly motion. So here's our 4 verticals. Here's all the guys who are going to cover the run. Even the safety that we're reading is going to cover the run. Nobody stays back. So again, watch the reaction to our run action. The backside safety's chasing the fly motion. The backside linebacker's chasing it. The front side linebacker's fill into force. This will be with the tight end. This is a heavy run formation for us. You saw us run speed option with this before. So 4 verticals. All the linebackers are going to fill, and it's a single safety, which means they're in trouble. The big advantage again for us for run blocking on our passes is the elimination of all these linebackers. The better read may have been to go to the top side slot. This one's at a double wing. We actually haven't made an error on this play. We wanted to sell our power stretch play left, and this wing actually made a mistake. So it ends up being 5 verticals instead of 4. But we're going to send this player across the field, and we're going to send our fullback down this seam, and we're attacking that safety. So our quarterback's looking to fake, and there's nobody to fake to. So this is a good illustration of how much teams have to key our guard pulls. Our quarterback's standing there doing nothing, and no one pass drops, because they have to watch our guards and our wings for keys. Okay, mention some posts and things to do with our posts. We don't do this as much as we run the straight vertical seams. We'll attack cover 2 teams with 2 posts, or we'll high load the safety with that. We'll also attack cover 2 and cover 4 with a corner post, which is a double move, but it's very effective against that. I mean, we can do all these things with our fly motion, with any things we want to do to make it look like run. And again, we're going to pull the guards on all these plays.
Coach?
Yes?
Do you want QB to pump fake on those double moves?
No.
Not at all?
No. For the quarterback, the worst thing a quarterback can do is stand here stationary and not throw the ball. So just like you want the running back's block to time up with engagement, you want your quarterback's drop to time up with engagement. So I don't want him to pump and then sit there, because it's really hard, and he's a sitting target. So we'll time our drops or our fakes up to whenever the ball is going to be thrown. So if we're faking power read, he's going to ride it until he's ready to throw, and he's going to come right out and make a throw. So we don't do a lot of pump fakes. And the double move isn't that long either. So you'll see how quick we run this. So here we've got a 2-high team. The smash on the backside, we're not going to read it unless we tag it, but it's going to occupy the deep defender on that side. We're going to high-low this safety. And again, we're going to pull the guard this direction. It's going to eliminate a lot of linebackers. And if the safety stays deep, we'll throw it to our flatter post. If he gets a little flatter, takes the middle, then we'll go deep over the top of it. There'll be some motion with this one. Now we're going to throw the deep one. We're going to motion over here to 2x2. They're going to bump their coverage. So now we're going to see the safety take the flatter post. So we're going to throw it to the deeper post. This will be our corner post. So you're going to see it happens fairly quickly. So there's not really time to need to worry about pumping. This is really good against man if you have time. Primarily we run this against cover 4, but we do run against cover 2. And so he's going to work up and attack the safety. He wants to get head up on the safety. He's going to give the corner move and then back to the post. So there's the corner move. And we do have some pressure. So again, the quarterback doesn't want to be holding on to the ball. So we talked earlier about the communication process. They do a good job of disguising their coverage. If he saw him coming, all the slot needs to do is say smoke. When he calls smoke, this tackle now alerts it all the way down the line. So the tackle now is going to take the end that comes inside, and our guard that pulls takes the guy off the edge. And that's all we would have to do. So it's just a subtle move. Your feet can't get choppy. It needs to be full speed on both brakes. Here's our bubble. We'll bubble out of several different things. The thing we'll bubble out of most is out of 3x1. But we'll bubble out of 2x2. We can bubble a number 1. We don't do that a lot. We actually throw more double passes and trick plays and things out of bubble into number 1, but we'll do it occasionally. And then I think we'll show you some bubble verticals. So we'll run bubble, and when teams come down to attack the bubble, we'll throw vertically behind it. That may be in this section or maybe in the quick game section, which I think we will. Despite the delays in the video, I think we'll be able to get through it all. So this first one's going to be out of 3x1. And we'll cross block this just like we'll cross block a lot of our other run game. We don't always cross block it. Because this one hits faster, it's a little bit easier to block straight up. You just have to be concerned about what angles your receivers may have. We can do this any down distance. We can do this against man or zone. We've done it on the goal line quite a bit. In other talks I'm going to do, I'm going to be talking about quarterback fundamentals and what we do with our quarterback training. We'll be talking about red zone and goal line, and then there's a session also where we'll be talking about run pass option plays and more about how we do play action. In that session I'll spend a lot more time going over what we do with our vertical seams off of play action. So here we're going to go 3x1. We're going to block the 2 most dangerous. And this clip's interesting because as of right now, these 2 look like the 2 most dangerous, correct? Well, they're not. So our slot's going to make a really good decision to take this safety as the most dangerous. So again, by alignment, They're probably thinking these two. And once it loads, we'll be able to see that he's going to get a little bit of depth and he's going to fill. Because this is man coverage. And in man coverage, teams have to chase. So this safety's chasing the bubble, which means we can get a 2-for-1. When he works inside, he has to follow him. Outside number, inside out, outside number. You can see our split receiver setting that inside out angle, getting the ball behind him. And then he wants the engagement to time up with when the ball gets there. The swim move is not something we teach with the ball. It's just a little easier to define the two most dangerous. They're in zone. We could cross block this, but I think we'll block it straight up in this case. When we coach our bubble, the bubble player has to go flat. So I would say this isn't a good one. He's getting depth and then going flat. You can't have all your receivers running different looking bubble routes. Their job is to open up and run flat and continue to run flat until the ball gets to them. It's a quarterback's job to lead them to their upfield shoulder to turn them upfield. So we don't want some guys doing that and some guys doing this. The quarterback doesn't know where to throw it. So their job is to open up and run flat so the QB knows where to put the ball. This will be out 2x2. We'll run this into the boundary. Not as much as we used to. It's probably a play we could utilize a little bit more because with our guard pulls, what do the outside linebackers do? They fill. So instead of having to block the outside linebacker with another slot, we can just go out at 2x2 and let them fill and eliminate themselves. So in this case at 2x2, the outside receiver still has to identify who the most dangerous is. So we're going to be on a hash mark and we're going to run it to the boundary. This outside linebacker is going to have to play a run because he's going to get this action coming at him, which is what's drawn there. This outside receiver still has to pre-snap figure out who he's going to take. Now I don't want him to hesitate. Once the ball's snapped, he's going to go. But he has to figure out who's more dangerous. If he was way back and he was coming down, then he would go right there. In this case, he's going to block the corner over him because the safety's further off. We consider this all part of our run game. It doesn't count as run stats. This is part of what we want to do in our run package. So the outside linebacker is eliminated by the guard pull and the down block, by the play side tackle and guard. And it's 1st and 10. This is the first play of the drive. So this is a good way to get going. Get 7 yards, getting 2nd and 3. And I believe that this was late in the first half. We didn't want to have to punt. So this is a good safe play. If it goes out of bounds, great. If it stays in bounds, not the end of the world. But this was a good drive starter. It wasn't a pure 2-minute drive. I think there's, maybe it was a 2-minute drive. It was a good way I thought to start the drive. So this will show our vertical seams off of our bubble. I'll squeeze this in here. So we'll bubble our inside player. These two players will take their same releases as if they were going to block. And when their players fill, they're going to go vertical right on top of them because that's the open area. So they're not trying to find landmarks and worry about hash marks. They're going to work the angle to block him wherever he goes, and then when he commits, they'll get vertical right on top of him because that's where the open space is. For us, we'll read this inside out unless we know from watching the game develop that we want to look outside in. So basically this ends up being a curl throw, a really easy curl throw in that 8 to 14 yard range. So if this one loads, this one will be out of 2x2. So we'll bubble with our boundary slot, and when the corner fills, he'll release right on top of him to the open hole. So we're going to bubble with our inside receiver. He's going to release to block him, and then when he commits to the bubble, he's going to get vertical right on top of him. His stem should be more at the corner, like he's going to block him. Alright, so we're getting towards the end. I didn't get quite through everything I wanted to show you. If I have time to show you what we do in our quick game. I talked about quick floods. Basically what we do in our quick game is we high-low zones. Everyone's run this play before. Fade and a flat, we're high-low in the corner. We'll do the same thing where we'll high-low outside linebackers. So for example, in this play, it's the same thing, only a man in. It's easier to high-low an outside linebacker, in my opinion, than the corner because it's a shorter throw, and he's not as good of an athlete, and he's worried about run. So we'll high-low this outside linebacker. Well, you can high-low him with the other way, depending on what the safety structure is. If he would be releasing straight into a safety in this case, then we can high-low with the opposite way. We'll high-low the linebacker with the outside player and that vertical seam. So that's basically what our quick game is built around. We're high-lowing corners, and we're high-lowing outside linebackers. And we're getting rid of the ball really fast. So the quarterback is going to have a quick fake. We're just going to lead him right into his throw. And we'll let a couple of these run until I get cut off. But it kind of builds off the same play that everyone run before. We'll just move it all around. We'll high-low the backer on all these different things. I'll show you this play if we can get it to load. It's the same play as the vertical and the out route, but it's just brought one man in towards high-low and the linebacker. I apologize for the time we've lost with film loading. I hope you've gotten to see a good amount of stuff. So again, a lot of people have run it to the outside too. Now we're going to run it to the inside too. And when the linebacker drops, we'll throw that out route, just like you would with the outside too. It's really quick. The quarterback's not holding on to the ball. We're faking power stretch to hold inside linebackers. And then if this last clip loads, then I'll be done. I'll show you what we do if the backer sits. Just like if the corner sits, now we're going to throw the vertical seam behind it. Every play that we run has a vertical seam in it. Because we're heavy play action, we want to attack vertical seams that are left. So here there's hesitation by the outside linebacker. Basically covers the out route. We're going to throw the seam behind it. Look. So that's what we do at Southwestern. We're power oriented in our run game. We have the triple option components to keep people basic. Speed option keeps people basic. Our counter game is built off of ISOs, and we have a power run game with our ISOs. And that leads us into the vertical seams that we watched. And that's a lot of what we do.
Thank you, Coach.